So direct painting part 2 is what I call the block-in method. And this is an approach to direct painting that's not 100% direct because it has two basic steps, but it's the methodology that I came up with that works the best for me when I'm painting on copper. It turns out that it works for everything else too, but I just wanted to break it down for you guys in the class. This video is a poor substitute for an actual technique video where you get to see me do it all. I'm going to be working on that, but in the meantime, this is going to have to do. So the painting starts off with a block-in. So that's the first image here. All you're doing is you already know what you're going to paint. You already know where everything's going, and you just locally block everything in. And so the phase that you're seeing in the video right now, I didn't spend more than 45 minutes on it. The peonies that I had, they're kind of expensive flowers. We only get them around here every once in a while. So I had 4 of them. And you can see how many flowers there are in the painting. I had the green table, the bag in the back, and the pitcher, and 4 peonies, and a wall, and that was it. I painted that in about 45 minutes, and then as soon as I was finished painting it, I took a soft brush that I use for blending. You guys could use a fan brush if you're painting on canvas or whatever. And I very gently blended it out. So you hold a clean paper towel in one hand or a rag, and you have your brush in the other, and you blend everything out. You go 1, 2, 3, wipe on the clean cloth. 1, 2, 3, wipe on the clean cloth. You do that for a couple of minutes and everything gets blended out so that the image that you're seeing now doesn't look that much different from the first image. It's a little bit darker, the colors are less intense, and the surface is very smooth. And the reason we do the blending out is so that it dries. You want to blend it out so that there's nothing thick and that its surface area with the oxygen it needs to dry is maximized. So you let that dry, and hopefully you can avoid using titanium white. If you have to use titanium white, use something to dry it like liquid or whatever other awful alkyd painting medium the kids are using these days. The next slide is the actual painting, so the actual direct part of the painting. Now, what I am doing here is I pick a part of the painting that I want to try and finish in one shot. And the original block-in is all the organizational information I need to finish anywhere I want. So the whole painting is basically organized and in. I picked one of these blooms. I put a medium down first, and then I wiped the medium off. And you can skip the medium part if you want to, but if you have a painting medium that you like, put it on and wipe it off, only on the area you're going to paint into. Paint the local colors in, and that's what you're seeing. The next image is after I wiped all of that paint off, and it looks like I left a little bit of the lighter colors because I could see the image I wanted to make had a darker area in the middle. If you don't have to wipe everything off, you're not obligated to. Normally, though, I do wipe everything off. And then while that is still wet, you just paint into it like you normally would. Now in this one, I started with the background colors around the bloom, so you can see where I painted the leaves and some of the wall. And I didn't even really finish them, but I got enough going where I could see what I was doing, because you want to make sure that you paint from the outside in. You want to surround whatever it is that you're painting. So you can see there's a little detail, and then I don't know how much longer, a little bit more. I got a little more detail in, and all I'm doing is painting into the wet paint. And then a little bit more detail, and you can see it's finished. And then all I did for the rest of the painting was repeat that process for every one of the flowers. And then the pitcher and the bag, there's a little bit more detail in some of those. I probably needed a couple different sittings to take care of the bag, but But that's how that painting got made. And it's one of the best examples of this that I can show you. Now, if you need to paint over any of the passages and do another layer, you're welcome to do that. All you do is repeat the process. So put the medium on, wipe the medium off, put the color on, wipe the color off, and then paint into it. That's the repeat process for the rest of the painting. But the idea, remember, is to try and finish those passages all at once. So what you might have to do is break the picture down into small sections and just spend a little bit more time on each small section, finishing it as you go. And remember, the advantage that you have with this technique is that the block-in solves all your organizational problems right away. So you should just be able to follow that basic diagram and just have fun painting the little passages.